Welcome back, everybody, to the weekend show where I'll be doing a deep dive into the stock market and we'll do a technical review on S&P 500 and all the other ETFs. So before we get started, please hit that like button and that is greatly appreciated. And if you're new here, definitely consider subscribing. Now, if you want to go above and beyond and support the channel and get these types of trade ideas that we actually killed it on Friday, definitely head over to Patreon and check out their link down below in the description for Patreon. And now let's get right into the market. So, what we got on Friday? Well, everyone was really happy that market is trading into blue skies and all-time highs are just here. Let's just go long. And if you go back and watch my previous video, I warned you guys that this is not the time to go long. This is not the time to chase. We just have to be careful. And this is exactly what we got the next day. The next morning, Dow was down 0.51%, Nasdaq down 1.69%. It was down nearly 2%. S&P down over 1%, and Russell going down 1.53%. 11 sectors that makes up S&P 500, only consumer defensive and consumer cyclical was on top, and healthcare and pretty much everything else in deep red on Friday. Look at technology down nearly 3% for the day. Stock market map, what we got right here on stock market map, you can see the majority of the selling was right here on semis. Nvidia down 3.27%. Broadcom took a massive hit, down almost 11.5%. AMD down nearly 5, AMU down nearly 7%, even Intel down 4.30%. Oracle down again 4.5, PLTR down 2.12%. And then we got Microsoft going down 1%, Apple flat, Amazon down 1.78%, Google down 1%, and Meta going down also 1.30%. And Tesla, despite the selling across the board, was up 2.70%. And you can see consumer defensive and some of these industrial names like BA and even GE, LMT, all those were up on the day. Now, what do we have next week? Well, we got a bunch of data coming out, guys. Tuesday, we got ADP employment, non-farm payrolls. Then we have on Wednesday, nothing really big. We have retail sales on Wednesday, but this is the critical one. Thursday, we do have CPI coming out. After a while, we're going to see some numbers, and who knows if these numbers are real or they're gonna cook it up and it's gonna show like, oh, everything is fine. Things are just in line or coming down. Then we have Friday, Michigan consumer sentiment. So that's going to move the market. We just have to wait for that. And going into Monday, let's just see if S&P 500 can actually move up, or we're gonna see some sort of a gap down again come Monday morning. Let's get right into S&P 500. All right, so welcome back, everybody. And you guys saw that rebranding, that rename of the channel from UK Network to now Wall Street Market Insight, because we talk about Wall Street all the time. We do these technical breakdowns on S&P 500 and all the other ETFs. Even, I do cover all the mega cap stocks in one video. So it's not about myself, and that's why we're going through this rebranding and naming the channel Wall Street Market Insight. So I'm not going anywhere. It's not like I'm selling my channel or anything. So if you guys see a different name from this channel, especially on X, even on Patreon, the rebranding is all over the place on all the platforms. So if you're seeing that name, that does not mean that EK is gone and I'm not going to produce videos anymore. I'm still here. I'm just trying to make it even better and more professional. With that being said, let's talk about S&P 500. So, Bank of Japan, they're going to do a 25 basis point rate hike. And market is not liking that. Definitely the equity market and the crypto market not liking that. And despite all that, we have, yields going up on Friday. And that's why we saw a pretty big drop. Another thing that we like, if you go to X, especially on right after FOMC, where Powell was saying that he's going to, start buying these, T-bills, about 40 billion worth. That's a lot of money, right? But here's the thing: why they're going to buy death. There is a reason because something broke inside and he just not telling us. We don't need Fed to come and step in right now, but they're doing it, right? Easy money is back, right? Free money, easy money, whatever you want to call it. And then we have, Japan, they're, doing a rate hike. So a lot of chaos out there, especially when it comes to all-time highs and the market was sitting right here. I don't like playing just I don't want no credit, nothing, guys. That's why I don't like playing like what I said before. But people that are subscribed to my channel, you already know, you watched it before the last video. I said right here that, guys, we gotta be careful. VIX sitting at 14 bucks, I'm not buying anything long. So what happened right after that video? The next morning we had a mega gap down. The market came all the way down. Nasdaq was down nearly 2%. So that's why we got to be careful. Now from here, I mean, it's barely holding that 682. Come Monday morning, we have this gap within just striking distance. So I think if we get some sort of, I mean, we came down to 679 on Friday. I think Monday we can see a gap down. There's a possibility, just, from my experience, I think it can happen, but it's not a guarantee. We all know I don't run the stock market. There could be a good news where this thing can gap up. Usually Monday it's gap up and go, right? But the way it's looking with some high volume selling, definitely, we could see, if not Monday, next week, this gap getting filled. Now, so far, it's not holding exactly at 682, but you can see we did close right there, just under that level. So if we can recapture, reclaim 682, we might see that push back up to 685 to even that previous all-time high. We almost were actually at all-time highs, but that was pre-market, especially right here on Thursday. To the downside, that 682 does not hold. I think it's going to come down to 678, and the next stop will be 676. These moving averages will act as a support, and then this gap will likely to get filled come next week, maybe even Monday. But this is where the pullback has to hold if this market is going to rip higher. Otherwise, you're going to see a dump off further down, and you can see, I mean, the downside is quite a bit here. If this gap fill reversal does not happen, we cannot hold here at these moving averages, especially from 676 to even that 673, 674 range right here. So I would say 674 to 676. You can see rejection, 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 and even these rejection now that can act as a support since we're trading above that level. So we need to watch this level carefully come next week and come Monday. On Triple Q, it's down 1.91%. So what did I say in my last video? That Nasdaq 100 is definitely diverging from S&P 500. We have a bearish divergence right here that S&P is at all-time high and Nasdaq is not. So from that, you can see how many times we cannot even close the gap. So I know there are not, strong sellers in the market yet, but there are sellers. They're selling. Why? One, two, third day. We got really close to the gap, but if bulls were really strong, they would be closing this gap and possibly even trade over the gap, 630. That did not take place last week, and who knows with the CPI if that's going to take place this week or not. But we have a big range here on Nasdaq 100. Bottom of the range would be right down here, these candle right here, these two big ones, and the top is around that all-time high, or maybe even let's say 626. Now, it's sitting right at the support, that 613 level. These moving averages holding up, but come Monday morning or even next week with the CPI, this thing gaps down. We will have this gap filled come next week. 610.26. And this is where it has to hold somewhere in between these moving averages, 613, if not that 610, the next critical support to hold. If we just go and blow through this support, the next one is going to be around 604 to even 600, and who knows, we can go further down from there. To the upside, there will be resistance at 617. We got a rejection. If you look at the hourly time frame here, there is a rejection here. You can see we came back and got rejected. So 617 we can go past, It's going to go right back up to 623 and then 626. On DIA, it's down 0.5%. And look at that reversal on Friday, guys. We did go on and produce a brand new all time high, 489.66. So I'm going to put a line there because if we go over that line, that means what? We would be going up and producing even more all time highs. But as of right now, one thing I want to point out, and I'm not going to say go and short DIA or anything like that or go even long, but I just want to give you guys this idea. Well, S&P 500 sitting close to that gap right down there, right? Nasdaq sitting really close to it, like $2 away from that gap. It makes sense that it's going to go there and close the gap, or at least it went close to it. Where do you see that gap? Right here on Dow Jones. It's right down here. Let me just, zoom in a little bit. Right down here. So, I mean, it's sitting at 485. The gap is near like 470, 472. So there's massive, massive downside here. If this thing cracks below this previous all-time high, you can see that 484.44. You can see it came down actually slightly under, but Bulls doing a great job holding right there at the previous all-time high, and the breakout is definitely standing as is since the Friday closing. So come Monday morning, if we get some sort of a gap down here below that 484.44, that opens the door for a move possibly down here to these highs and the 5 day right here. That's going to be around 481.84, or let's just make it even 482. And then the key support right here 480, and below that we could see a lot more selling all the way down to 476, and then the gap right down here. And here's my X account. And if you guys are on there, definitely give me a follow. And there is no subscription, nothing. So it's totally free. You're not going to pay a dime to go and follow. And you're going to get a bunch of trade ideas, possibly lots of information on X. Now, with that being said, we had a killer Friday, especially for my Patreon members. You can see this one right here just joined on Black Friday and killed it 15K, 58K, 10K, and then 6,100 right here. These are just in about a week or so, a massive, massive amount. But look at right here, guys. I mean, this was really fantastic. I mean, who makes eight, $9,000 a week? Not really, right? This is really good, and I'm really happy to see these people actually doing these kind of trades and making money and just going above and beyond and not looking to work all their life, doing something where they can just sit home, relax, and trade. And that should be the goal, especially if you're trading and you want to do this full time. So if you're really serious about trading, guys, head over to Patreon, and that link will be down below in the description. Also on my X page, right on top, you can see the Patreon link, and also you can join the Discord community, which is totally free, and you do get lots of information. You could even ask me a question if you have right here on Discord. So head over to Patreon, and if you're serious about it, definitely give it a try. On Russell, it's down 1.53%. So IWM here also producing a brand new all-time high. And then what happened? We backed off from that all-time high, and we got some high volume selling here as well. So same thing like Dow. It's sitting right on top of that previous all-time highs right here. If this thing falls below that 253, it's gonna dump all the way down to, especially right down here, 248, and then we could be pulling back into these moving averages right here around 245. To the upside, if this thing breaks and gets over 258, we have another chance for producing another brand new all-time high, which could be 262. At least that's where I can see it's going, because the upper Bollinger Band expanded all the way up to 261.74, and it might be going higher if the price stays right here at 253 or higher come Monday morning. On VIX, it's up 5.93%, so not quite the show that I wanted to see here on VIX, which would be staying over 18 bucks. That would be more bullish, but key thing here that this thing is up. And what I said in my video previously, that when VIX is trading near these lows, you can see this, range around 14, 15 bucks. What happens? we spend some time here and then we get a spike into 18, 20s, sometime like, into 30s. And this is exactly what we're getting. But some situations, maybe, just a pullback, but this is not good. The economy is not looking good. The inflation numbers we haven't seen in last 2 months, which will be coming out this week. And this thing sitting also near these lows where this thing can spike back up to the upside. Now, there were some call buying here on VIX. I can mention that in my video today, 55 strike, millions worth of calls. Now, I don't know if it's going to go there or not, but I think you guys should know. So watch out if this thing gets over that $16 range, maybe gets up to 18. Right here, we get over 18, that's going to trigger a bigger sell-off, and this thing can push easily up to 20 to even $23. And then we can talk about even coming up here at some point. But as of right now, we're still trading inside this range around that 14, 15 bucks. So I think if this thing, comes back and, gets over 18 bucks, that's when you're going to see a lot more panic selling in the market, and market can go lower and this thing can move higher. So here on silver, you can see another brand new all-time high on Friday, and then we backed off a little bit. And this looks like a reversal type of candle where we actually went higher, but then closing pretty much near the lows. It came down all the way down to top of this candle around 55.20, and then it went back up to 56. We did close that gap at 56 and some change, and that's what it's holding right now. But if this thing gives up that 55.2, it's going to make its way all the way down to 53.36, and I think that's going to happen. If you go back and look at the monthly, weekly, even daily, silver and gold extremely, extremely, extremely overbought, guys. And when things are that overbought, at some point there will be profit taking, there will be selling, there will be shorting, which we did, and we will be shorting if this thing goes up even more, because I think there is massive opportunity even in the short term. I mean, this thing moves like $2, you get a decent amount of money. We took some profit on half of the position. You guys saw some of those plays that I played early on, and it was part of it, silver. And we still have a position because I think it's going to come down here, maybe even fill the gap at 52, and that's where I'm going to make even more, possibly 50 to 100%. Who knows where this thing can go? But if this thing actually spikes back up to all-time highs, that's why I took profit, and that's how I play. If this thing spiked back up to another all-time high, well, I took profit, right? Now I can relax and put that money back in again, and the money will come right back when this thing pulls back once again. So silver is doing just crazy things. Same thing with gold, hitting another brand new all-time high. I mean, look at this pump, huge pump on GDX. I mean, just not stopping. And what we got? Well, this one did not go down that much. 0.7%. Not a big sell-off. Dollar. What do we have on dollar? You can see dollar broke down from that trend line, and since then it's heading towards that 98 and just hanging on there. Friday it was actually pretty flat. It was holding. It did not actually make any big move to the upside or to the downside, just trading inside this candle. So we'll see how that goes. And I'll be doing an update Monday night for you guys. So definitely catch up with you guys a little bit later come Monday. And if you want to go ahead and check out those videos, especially on mega caps that I did last night, go ahead and check it out. It'll be in my channel and it'll be also in the description, guys. Thank you so much and have a good day.